3 Iranian missiles came down in Kuwait, and they didn't miss. The video is right there to watch. Direct impacts on American attack missile systems, the ground-launched long-range rocket platforms that United States forces had been using to strike deep inside Iran. The systems are called ATACMS, and by the time those 3 rounds connected, there wasn't much left of them. That moment in Kuwait is a useful place to start understanding what the day actually was, because it captures the rhythm of it. The United States strikes Iran. Iran strikes back at American assets across the surrounding region, and the loop keeps turning. The bombardment began before dawn and did not let up. A brief window in the middle of the day, then another 5 hours of sustained strikes that, by the United States military's own account to the New York Times, were significantly larger than anything that had come before. CENTCOM put out a statement confirming it was continuing to hit targets across the Strait of Hormuz corridor and well beyond, into the interior of the country, far from the coast. The list of places that were struck reads like a map of southern and southwestern Iran. Qeshm Island, where a massive column of black smoke rose above the waterway and could be seen for miles. Sirk, where footage showed a violent detonation with enough force to rattle whatever cameras were recording it. Bandar Abbas, an area near the Bushehr nuclear power plant. The plant itself does not appear to have been directly hit, but surrounding infrastructure was targeted close enough that the distinction starts to feel academic. Bushehr is not a weapons facility. It is a power source, and not only for Iran, its output serves neighboring Arab nations as well. Kangan, Bandar Mahshahr, home to Iran's largest petrochemical complex, and that complex appears to have been struck. Abadan, Khorramshahr. Iran's response was not limited to Kuwait. An MQ-4 Charlie Triton drone hangar was destroyed at Prince Hassan Air Base in Jordan. A hangar was damaged at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. A storage facility at the United States 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain was hit. And separately, an Iranian drone struck a drilling platform belonging to a Kuwaiti oil company, confirmed by the Kuwaiti military. Infrastructure for infrastructure. That is the phrase that starts to fit the shape of what is happening. Meanwhile, the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow passage through which a significant share of the world's oil once moved, has effectively gone quiet. A vessel here or there, Chinese-flagged or Iran-affiliated. That is nearly everything moving through a waterway that before this conflict began handled somewhere between 140 and 150 ships every single day. CENTCOM posted a graphic. It said the Strait of Hormuz is open for transit. It said 140 ships had passed through in the last 7 days, 7 days combined. If you take that number at face value, and there are real reasons not to, it represents roughly 1 day's worth of pre-war traffic stretched across a full week. That is what the Pentagon chose to frame as proof that freedom of navigation is being maintained. The USS Abraham Lincoln and the USS George Herbert Walker Bush are positioned in or near the strait. The Lincoln alone carries more than 70 aircraft across 320 meters of flight deck. CENTCOM keeps saying the waterway is open to all vessels seeking lawful transit. Iran's newly appointed Navy commander for the Islamic Revolutionary Guard said something different on state television. There has not been a single vessel passing through the strait that his forces did not monitor, track, and if necessary, question. He described sea patrols and air patrols running continuously alongside every ship that moves through. He said no foreign vessel that Iran does not want there has entered its territorial waters. And then he said this: the Americans have planes, they have equipment, they have vessels. Their carrier is 320 meters long and carries more than 70 aircraft. But what they do not have, he said, is faith. Whether you read that as deliberate provocation or something more considered, the IRGC soldiers on the patrol boats in the strait are posting their own footage. In one clip, they address Trump by name. They mention the Minab Elementary School. They mention a warship called the Denner and the men who died on it, and they say they have a blood feud, and they say their commandos will be on the islands. That kind of language does not get invented in the moment. It comes from somewhere, and it lands differently when you hear it over footage of armed men moving through one of the most contested waterways on the planet. There is one piece of the day that has not gotten the attention it probably deserves. The United States military said publicly that no American service members or civilian contractors were injured in today's strikes. Open-source observers noticed something. A United States Air Force Charlie 17 Globemaster, configured for aeromedical evacuation, flew patients from Jordan to Ramstein Air Base in Germany. The available data suggests the patients did not originate from the same location where the aircraft picked them up, meaning they were moved to meet the flight rather than simply loaded at the point of injury. That kind of transfer pattern is consistent with casualties at locations a large transport cannot reach directly. The official statement says no one was hurt. The flight happened. Both things are on the record, and they are pointing in different directions. Make of that what you will. Iran's foreign ministry has formally warned every country hosting United States military bases used to attack Iran that those countries may now be treated as hostile under international law, and that Iran will not hesitate to act accordingly. That warning covers Kuwait, Qatar, Jordan, and Bahrain simultaneously. There are points in an escalation like this where the question shifts, stops being what happened today, and starts being what the next 72 hours look like. Some of the ATACMS in Kuwait are gone. The drone hangar in Jordan is gone. The storage facility in Bahrain was hit. The strait is moving a fraction of its normal oil volume. Infrastructure near a major power plant was targeted. The petrochemical hub at Bandar Mahshahr took strikes. Both governments are issuing statements that read less like warnings and more like declarations. Whether the people steering this have thought carefully about what comes after the next exchange, what happens when the loop turns again, is probably the most important question right now. And if you're being honest with yourself, it doesn't have a reassuring answer.